I'll do this from the hall.
Oh, I should say something.
Oh,
Yeah.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Jen will be
Well,
speaking the
we've
first
got
5 hours.
Airbnb person, we've got Airbnb people. No, you don't have to be quiet. It's just if you see people coming and going. FYI. Welcome, everybody. I think you all know who we all are, I think. I'm Jen Hicks. I'm the gallery owner-director, and we've got Jane Street next door in Newbury Arts and Market. And I just want to thank both of you, Ted Dixon's amazing artwork here, which he will talk about shortly, and Elizabeth Keithline, who I've known for quite a while, who's a lovely human being and artist and fabulous questioner. Real question, whole ideas out. He's so exciting.
Don't make promises. Especially, this is such an illustrious group. Really. In
So I'm
addition
going to
to
step
Ted.
back and
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
One of the things that I have watched your work for quite a while, and as the former exhibition director at WHAM, I think that's where we started to talk.
Yes.
And it's when I said on social media the other day, should be lively. He always is. Now people in this community know Ted pretty well, and some people do. And it's like when I say this, you recognize it. He's having the most fun doing this part, and like a lot of us, he has earned it. He's been working a long time with visual information, and you'll tell us more about that. But to be what I feel principally in this work is that you're set free, that you're, this is something that is this storm, this atmosphere in this work that is just, you can be as loud and as large, or as quiet and as thoughtful, and often both, as you want. And so I'm really enjoying watching your career. Before we begin, we did not talk about this in the couple of calls that we had, but I want to just acknowledge Megan and Jen. You are doing so much for our community.
Yes.
We get to do this. Catherine too. And in general, why do we do it? Why do we have an artist talk? Why do we have videos about artists, solo efforts, group shows? What is the meaning of that for us? We want to get to know you better. And as well as we might think we know you, there is more for you to say. So that's sort of where I start. Is that your feeling about an artist talk in general?
Well, first let me thank you. I'm very much appreciative for you moderating this talk, and Megan for all the work she's done, and Jen, of course. This is a blessing just to be here. Part of being an artist is to express oneself if one feels like it. So, based on where I am in my life, age-wise, I figured out, many years ago that this is a good way to do that. You can be, or I can be powerful in my presence in terms of saying things, and at the same time, with art, you want to, or at least I want to give people comfort to engage with the pieces, as opposed to being a orator or whatever. That art allows people to, like, at their own pace, mentally, spiritually, physically, they can stand here and respond in their own way, however they wish to want to respond. Hopefully I have a little bit of influence with that. If they want to delve in deeper, they can talk to me like now, or even inquire. But that's always been the main thing. My main motivation is to do something while I exist that encourages the people who love me to understand why they do.
Oh,
Great.
that's
assume, I don't want to assume that it's enough. My wife, my kids, my grandkids, they love me. I don't have any crazy backstories, nor about anybody else. But you want to then say, you want to add to the meaning when they say things like grandma. You want them to go someplace and see that and go like, that's my grandma. They're gonna say that anyway, because they love you. About anything you do, you could fight somewhere and they could say, that's my grandma. But you want to give them which also pushes them forward to exist in their life, to want to do the same thing, which I think is a noble calling. I think it was George Washington Carver said something like, no one is put here you're put here to leave the world better, to leave a mark, to leave a positive mark. There's no one thing that's going to make everything perfect, but for me, art and the visual, as human beings, color, shapes at the beginning of time does.
Yeah, it's primal.
Does something. What is that?
Yeah.
Since the beginning of it, like you see a shape and you go, wow, it brings up things.
Yes.
Good things, not just the bad things, good things. Or allows you to see the good things through the bad things, which I'm always for that.
Right.
Always for that.
I think that's right, and how do we sort of staple down movement like in these two? How do we express beyond words what we're experiencing while we're here? I do want to acknowledge the brilliance of the title of the show. So, which is,
would it be enough?
Would what be enough is the title of this painting, but the title is,
would it be enough?
Because we went back and forth in emails about this. And here I acknowledge my handsome husband, who is a musician and never needs to stop doing that. But there are questions that we both have about our creative lives of, is it enough? Will we stop? When would we ever stop? This is just something you're doing when you're getting older. You referenced age, exactly. So I think it's fair.
You're hitting on it.
Can you just, how did you get to that?
Well, a lot of conversations I have with people, I find getting older, which is a great thing to happen, it's not a problem, it's not a thing. It becomes, things happen and people get joyous or sad. Oftentimes the conversation leads to things that make people feel a little sad. Aging, people passing. I'm always looking for and always thinking that with all my work, with abstraction in itself, there's another side to this. There's another side to this. Not to go too far off tangent. If there was a God, let's say, which I do believe, but let's say you don't have to, but if there was a God or something that did this for a reason, one of my primal basic instincts and foundations in terms of how I operate my life is the purpose of putting human beings on this planet for this existence couldn't be for suffering only. Could not be.
Okay.
Who would do that? Let's make this thing called the human race and make them suffer for how many millions of years? Can't be, which means there's something else. There is suffering. I'm not saying to reinterpret, but what is that purpose? So I look for joy in. I mean, when I was younger, and this still goes back to my painting and why I used to ask my grandmother. I used to go to church and stuff, and when I was in my teens or whatever. I said, Grandma, why is if people say that people pass and they're going to a better place, why is everybody crying? If they're going to a better place, of course, oh please. She was like, But it's those things that drives my abstraction.
Yeah.
There is another side to every single thing. There may be a main side, maybe certain things should make us sad, maybe that certain things should make us happy, maybe, but there's another side. It's like the line, someone told me years ago, there are no straight lines in the universe. There are no straight lines in the universe. Everything curves. Unless you believe the universe is a box, which it ain't. If it's like this, that line goes however far, and it's always curving, which means it's curving way out there, it's curving here. It may look straight, but there's which means, why? What's that about?
Right.
Why does stuff go? Why is our day 24 hours? Why isn't it 6 hours 6 times and we just get tired? What?
Well, 24 hours is enough. Like, you need another one, right? So getting into that concept of like, we can't just be here to suffer,
would it be enough?
But suffering is how we learn. So.
Only? Suffering is how we learn.
So
but it's not the
when
only
will
way
it
we
be
learn.
enough? When will we have learned enough? Is sort of one way I filtered your title,
Yes.
to bring it back to that.
And what would the it of enough be? What is the it? What is the it?
And I mean, I'm going to drive this to the work in this room because you are teaching yourself all the time. And we see that in this room, which is why I asked you about the chronology. Can anybody guess what's the newest piece in the room?
The last one done.
Can anybody, Harris, hi. Can anybody think about the chronology of this work in that way, in the way of thinking about time? Oh, Anne's smiling because she knows. I should know.
You do know!
Anne's Ted's wife. Sheila, I'm sorry. Sorry.
My middle name's Anne.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. And my daughter is Annie, and I'm confusing you. Can I tell them?
Certainly.
It's this one. So Ted, one thing that I think is really interesting about seeing the show in this context, all of this work in one room, is that to me, these are really atmospheric. And here you're tethering us, and yet they're talking about the same thing, but we see how you're evolving. And I'm wondering if you can speak to that. How do you feel about, is it enough? How do you feel about the growth spurt you're having?
Well,
Because you've got like a million shows.
We're having a conversation. When you say atmospheric, what do you?
So here, these pieces are related,
Mm-hmm.
but they're untethered. This is airy to me. You have particles floating in space. This is more architectural. Yet both pieces are talking about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about the leap you made there?
Well, again, even in my practice, and when I'm focusing on a subject, which I need to do, I'm one of those abstract painters that have to have a focus. I don't just go to the studio and just see what happens. I do see what happens in the work. It's not like, oh, I need to do so-and-so. Sometimes I do, but it's not. But I do have a focus. I want to address a topic in my head that I want to visualize. That happened with these, except I did these after I did that one after I came back from Florida, where my wife spends like the winter. So that was just, that's one of those things where people go all the time, well, you need to do a residency and go away and stuff. And I said, well, I need to do a residency when she goes to Florida for 10 weeks. That's my residency. I understand the value of residency by yourself and with other people. But then I came back and I realized, based on the residency issue, that why people go away, because it does change, your location does change you. Your environment changes you. Hopefully my work shows for a reason, a different level of variety, even though I'm in the Hudson Valley, which I think I do. But that one was just, it came back and I was, having been I went down for 2 weeks. She goes for 10. Oh, she goes for 10. I go down for 2 in between. So when I came back, I was like, I've seen her and I was bubbly and happy. So, plus they have the sidewalks on Winter, the sidewalks on Park Inn has cracked. Anyway, there's a long story.
Oh,
But
nice, love
that.
that.
There's a connection.
Yeah.
There's a visual connect, but that's the last piece in the series and stuff. But this work was done, as I told Jen, this work was finished maybe 4 or 5 months ago. Because I have yet to find a reason to work up to the last minute. When someone says do something, I get on it such that I want to finish it, not to rush, but I want to see what it's like to finish a group of works for a show, let's say, and sit on it for 3-4 months and be nervous about it. Maybe, did I do it? Do I got to do another one? Do I have to do another? You build trust. I want to work on that. In order to work on it, you got to put yourself in that position to okay, you finished, you believe in the work, put it away. And then you go through, how much time we got? We got 3 more months, okay. Okay, let's see, should I look at it? And then sometimes I don't look at it for 2 months. And not to pat myself in the back, but I'll pull it out and go, damn, I did that. Because I do that because I'm struggling with something I'm working on now. So when I pull this up, I go okay, I'm still good. I can still paint. But you go back and forth.
Talk about building trust. Are you within yourself?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I work on it. Not like it's a problem, but when I go in the studio, it's like, it's like the layering. Sometimes they talk about, especially in abstraction, about not losing fear, not being afraid to mess up, whatever, which I don't call it messing up. I don't call it what they call it happy mistakes.
Yeah.
It's not a happy mistake. No.
Yeah.
It's like, I was telling, this is like 10, 12 layers. Is layer number 4 a mistake? Layer number 4 leads to layer number 5, which leads to layer number 6, which leads to get this. So what's underneath is not a mistake. It's part of the process. But I have to, I remind myself that when you're frustrated and go I thought it was only going to take 4 layers. and then you have to tell yourself, don't get stupid, don't get lazy, don't come on now. And then you trust that there's more there. I was telling a friend of mine who was in the studio, I said, there's more there. There's more there. Maybe not. Maybe you're finished. People say, when is the art finished? But then you gotta look back and go, it's not this. When it's this, you go, I'm finished.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not finished? And this came after.
Right.
This came after, because I did like this, but I said, what if?
Yeah.
Can I still continue the story?
Do you ever take it off the wall after a show if it hasn't sold and bring it back and do it more?
Hell no.
Wait a minute, strong reaction.
No, I learned.
No, it's done.
I'm working in terms of my learning, in terms of my creative strength. I'm not only working from other artists, past and present, painters, past and present. I'm working from other artists, musicians. How do you know when the song is done? At some point, it's got to be done. You move on to another song. You got 12 songs in an album. None of them are done. You move on. You got James Patterson writes books. Nobody asks him, how do you know when the book is finished? It's finished.
Yeah.
I've got to work on another book. I have
that.
another story. I have another. You have to. I call it. You have to take for me, it's taking responsibility for this one. People don't like it. I don't fall back and go well, it's not finished. That's right. No, it's
you
finished.
Make another one.
You make another one.
Yeah.
You make another one.
Yeah.
And I look at it like, you think this is good, or I think this is good. And I was so happy where this landed. I said, let me do a sister brother thing. Let me do another one that goes together and stuff. This was fun.
Yeah.
These two were like, wow.
Yeah, there's a pairing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people in this room have a lot of stuff that they work on and that's coming up for them. Looking at your resume and your, future exhibitions, I just want to ask you how you're managing this. Like on the day-to-day admin, because it's a ton. Maybe no one's told you, but it's a ton.
You tell me one thing.
And not to don't slow down, but I'm saying, like, how are you doing this?
I guess part of it is I have a strategy of where I want to be. We call it the 91 strategy. What I want to have accomplished by the time I'm 91.
Oh, that's nice.
And every day gets, you don't add more to the back, it gets shorter and shorter and shorter. So I have a plan. And the plan does include the creation of compelling art. There's no tricks to this. So I have to keep working. The energy comes from, and I thought about this 20 years ago. There are people who have created art before me, who I admire. Some I don't, but the art is great, but the ones I admire. It's a path, it's a journey. They died. I'm not starting new. I'm like, respect for me. In my head, I'm picking up where they left off, trying to be original at the same time, which is always interesting. I mean, 30 years ago, I was like a lot of people, which I saw online, where I admired Mark Rothko's work. I love it. For all the reasons everybody knows. And everybody was doing squares and everybody's doing squares. I'm like, and not getting it. But I didn't think they were getting it, most of them. But I said, well, I can't do that. I didn't want to do that. But the thing that was compelling about Mark's work was, and I told somebody, it's not so much the panels, the squares. It was the space in between. It was how he blended out. It was this. It's this.
Yeah.
It's this. It's this. It's like, wow. It's these little, it's this. Like when I look at this, it's this. I'm like, oh shit, can I do that again? How did I do that? Like this, how did I do that? How did I do that? I want to do that again. Which becomes hard as hell.
Right. And you gotta hold it. You gotta hold on to it, which means you have to jettison other things.
Yes. Or jettison that and bring the other things up. But again, the trust part. Okay, you don't know, and I don't try to remember. I intentionally not try to remember how I did this. I want to be surprised. There's no formula. It's like, okay, let's go back to the studio and just do that again. I don't want to know.
And that's part of my question, if I may interject, is that it's fresh, and it's really hard to stay on a schedule and be in the studio every day making something fresh. Especially when you have your go-tos, like how did I get that edge, that bleed?
It's not hard. It's not hard. It is that.
Yeah.
Just get in the studio.
And be excited. And be curious.
I'm already started. I'm already excited. As soon as I step down here, I mean, I turn to music. Music is my what's that word? Is my
your go-to.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I say to people, I say when you want to get, same thing with coming to the talk, you want to get into the space to be ready to do this talk for us, and we got comedy sometime. What do you got to do? Same thing with Tane for me. I'm there, but I want to be there quicker so that once I go to the studio, I'm further along. Music for me, it's like Star Trek. It's like, for me, right
You're
there.
Propelled.
Oh my gosh.
So what are you listening to?
I'm not telling you. No. That's a secret sauce.
Taylor Swift, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, never mind.
She has a song.
Which one?
Marjorie, about her grandmother.
I know that one.
Oh man,
that's great.
It's that type of music, like, because everybody got grandmothers, it's like, it's just like, you're there. And I need to be, I don't want to like spend like, oh, let me get my, no, I'm there from the night before. I mean, I call this intentional or purposeful abstraction. People think, oh, because it's abstract, it's like, oh, I say, why don't they think about that for people that do landscapes? They don't ask people to do landscapes, it's like, oh, do you just go in there and just, no. Landscape artists, portrait artists, there's a direction, there's a focus. Abstraction, for me, there's a focus. There's a focus. There's something in the abstraction, I think. So I plan working days before. I have either a focus or on a concept. I have a focus on a color. I have a focus on a shape. I have a focus on an experience that I appreciate. I mean, I sit, like I'm probably most people, I sit, and not to get esoteric, but today I'm sitting watching TV, eating lunch. My wife's like, eating lunch, so yeah, okay. And I'm sitting there going like, and this is a value. You sit there and go, yeah, I'm sitting here, and you know what this is. I'm sitting here, and I have a home, I have a wife, I have my health, I have a coffee table, I have a TV. It's like, fuck, shit, damn, this is wonderful. This is like, I have to do things, among other things, that shows people that I'm considerate, appreciative, want to leave something, want to say something without shouting. That's why, talking about paintings, I said about the strategy, I leave stuff off the table on purpose. Because when I started out, one thing about art I tell people, it's a no profession. You're going to get no more time than you get yes. And on top of that, you're going to get no's that don't seem like a no. That's a no. You have to get beyond that. And it's not just, it's dancers, writers. Someone told me before days ago, oh man, you're an artist, no, you're not going to make no money. I never bought into that starving artist thing. When I was young, I just never bought into it. I said, so you don't expect an architect to starve, but you expect me to starve? Yeah. What, you don't expect a novelist to starve, but you expect me to starve? But it's a tough environment for all humans since the beginning of time, artists. But then I look at it, one of the easy parts for me, I tell the people, I said, just go into Barnes and Noble. How many books in Barnes and Noble? How many writers wrote those books? It's tough. Get over it. Just, I think, and I've said it to you a lot, do the work where you become like undeniable, like, oh shit. There's a lot of us doing that, but you gotta just do the work. And to answer your question, you gotta get into the studio. Like now, for example, I've been in a 4 to 5, 6 hour painting when she was going to Florida and stuff. I would, every morning, I'm in there 9 o'clock to like 2 or 3 o'clock, exhausted. And then because you have a life, and you have people you love, you gotta, do other things. I go, let me try an hour and a half a day. Every day. Hour and a half, see how it goes. And then the plus side of that, in my head, that makes it work, I give the paint to dry. I give the sketch to dry. As opposed to become impatient and go like, use a hair dryer and stuff. I need to put a layer on. I go, no, not get.
Everything will come out in the work. The hair dryer is there. The patience is there.
It's got to.
The hour and a half.
Oh man, even an hour and a half, it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I'm working on 4 or 5. So it's like if I'm putting, like today, I went down for like 2 hours. I said to myself, and again, it goes back to trust and belief. You don't have to, for me, I gotta stand there and go like, I'm Michelangelo, whatever I do is great. No, but I'm gonna go, I got 5 pieces, I'm putting 1 or 2 colors on each piece today. Such that I'm not sure about where it's going, but when I come back tomorrow and it's dry, I go,
Yeah.
the next step talks to you, not the next one. That's the trust.
It's really,
No, I mean, is that
yeah, I think
not
that's
the way
right.
it goes?
I think that's right. And I think that that feeling that you're bringing out through the work is one of the pieces, one of the reasons you're getting a lot of shows. And the other one is you're showing up, you're happy to be there, you love to talk to people, you're curious about, well, how can I connect more? That doesn't come out of nowhere. There are a lot of artists who are struggling, and some of them with the recognition piece. Not everybody who's doing what you do is getting the recognition that you're getting.
True.
And part of it is because your willingness to engage. I think this is not a question, and you can comment or not comment, but I think that's a piece of it that people are interested in you. Why? Because you're interested in you. You're having fun and you're curious. You described that process of going into the studio in the morning and it's like the fourth day. And what did these colors do yesterday after I left and now they're dry? I can't wait.
They do something.
Yeah.
They do something. So it's not just you, it's the paint, which I also continue to learn. It's like, oh, it dries like, you put it on wet, you go, and then you trust, you go, like I said this last month when I did that other piece. And then you come back and go, ooh, it dry, ooh, nice.
That's right.
This is a good step.
That's
now,
right.
Part of the mission about, out there is like I also was lucky, have been lucky, because I'm out there and meeting people like you. I mean, you would have wanted when you and Maxine and Jen, and it was like, I always come and go, when y'all see my piece, I get nervous. I'm still insecure a little bit.
No.
A little bit. And I go, and I always be like, so why? You like it? Why you like it? So like you'll come in and say, oh, this is fantastic. I'll go back home and go, was it really?
Oh.
Was it really?
I don't say that unless I mean it. Just
I do that and I go, okay, I gotta step it. I don't know if I should say step it up or step it over, but I gotta keep moving. I gotta step it up. I gotta step it. There's more. I know there's more. It surprises me because I think the show I did up in Hudson, the 18 series.
Susan Ely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was.
Well, tell us.
It was the body of work, and again, I'm learning that many artists, musicians, whatever, they have those, the great shows, the great concert, whatever. It lasts for 6 months, whatever, because you do how many shows, and it passes. Now what? But it's good to have had that. But you still go, now what? When I saw that work, similar to this, I literally go, now what? I'm like it, like, what now? Like, I go, what now? And it's a good place to be in, that you're willing to ask. For me, I'm willing to ask that question, and then are able to make the next step. There'll be something else that will surprise me. Like even from the 18 series, this surprises me. I mentioned to someone the other day. If my house was burning down, let's say 5 years ago, if my house was burning down, would you run back in to try to save a piece of art? How many would you have that you'd want to save, that you don't want to have to lose historically?
Wow.
5, 6 years ago, think about that. 5, 6 years ago, there was maybe, you want to save all of them.
Jeff is on the lawn, right? Like, I don't have to save him. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm dragging Hal first,
Yeah.
But 6, 7 years ago, I would say I had, 5 pieces maybe. I got to go back in and throw them out the window because it's not the stretcher bar, it's the canvas. I don't care. Which I thought was impressive. Now, I may get burnt because I have at least 25, 30.
Yes.
6 are in this room.
Yeah, and by the way, Sheila, no, never. It's not going to happen.
Thank you.
So this brings me to something we talked about, when we were going back and forth about this. You have this show, you have the Hudson show, you have, I think, a WAM show coming up, and several other things. Are you because you have a design background too,
yes.
Are you building exhibitions new each time? Like, when you were invited by Jen and Megan to do Sketchbook, did you immediately go into, what am I putting in this room? Or did you say to yourself, I'm painting all new work for this, And then when Wham comes, I'm doing a new show. Like, how much are you designing for the space? Is my short question.
Currently, 100%. Currently, 100%. I got the Wham show before this show.
Right.
Interesting enough, I think the Wham show, the pieces were finished. If you can believe that, because you know what it's like putting the Wham show. It was finished.
Yeah.
It was finished. No secret. The focus of that show is images inspired by the music of Pat Metheny.
Oh. Whose wife owns a gallery on Tinker in Woodstock, by the way. Yeah.
Oh.
One of the great, I hit a point about 2 years ago with music I love.
You got to show it at AZ.
If they ask.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm sorry.
About 2 years ago, I love his music all my life anyway, but it was like one of the most abstract things you can do is make music, to me. You think about artists, blank canvas, I'm standing from blank canvas, what I do. Musicians, blank everything. There's no canvas, there's blank, there's no sound, there's blank. And they come up with what they come up with. So part of the strength of mine is that, well, if they can do that, I can do that, because that's hard.
Well, and they are music.
At least I have a canvas. They haven't decided the musician, the instrument, the notes, nothing. At least I have a canvas. And I just created, that's my focus. That's, so that was done. How many months out? And I'm sitting on that. She came to me and she said, were you gonna, I said, no. My wife goes, the house is getting like inundated. And she goes, when I get a show, she'll go, you got work, right? You got work, you got work in the show. And I go, no, I'm gonna create new work. She goes, but I create, because again, it's not, I have what I call, if someone said to me right now, someone like a Jen, but they're in Virginia, thank goodness, and they go, we need 6 pieces. I got 6 pieces. I got 6 per week, because I work that way. I work as if I have a show.
Yeah. I
got 6 pieces that I can put together. But this, she gave me enough time. I said, I'm going to work. I'm doing the work. I'm gonna respect the space.
Love it. And it's such an opportunity to grow. I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
Yes.
And let there be
why?
Right. That's beautiful.
Why? No.
Yeah. I think that's right.
It's inspiring. It's not resting. It's the air in the room. It's the reputation. She did a show, and I'm like, damn, I got to step tight. What was the title of your show?
Marking Time.
Marching Time, and I'm like, I gotta, and I'm still living the red. I told her, I said, you do something with that red band. It's like, what's that red stroke in there? That alone, which influenced that red.
Yeah.
I said, that alone, because she generally appreciates that, because she must be into red stuff. But that alone, again, for me, you're stepping on shoulders of people that came before you. And then I saw the schedule after mine here with Kellner and Ransom. Oh, I'm gonna leave stuff for them to deal with. I want to leave stuff for them to go to think oh damn, Dixon was in there. Ransom ain't gotta do nothing. I mean, matter of fact, it's time he gotta do. But I want them to go, shit, okay, we gotta do something because that show was good.
Yeah.
That's part. We share this.
Right.
I'm part of this.
It doesn't happen.
I'm part of this.
And we're all informing.
Yes. Like the first time I met you at Wham, it's like your response to me was like, I said, oh, you have, like I said on the somewhere, I think on the interview, criticism is tough. And it's my responsibility to take it as a learning experience. But you can also criticize people in a way that's not being critical, that's also helpful. She does that. I've been blessed to meet people to do that in that way, that you want to know what you think.
Yeah.
Not just, yeah, it's great. Why is it great? And you tell me why. You tell me, I say, oh, okay, and that helps me. But you have some people, artists included, it's like, Yeah, but you have to use that to your advantage. Learn from that. And I'm building on screenwriters do that, novelists do that, painters do that, musicians do that. No, we don't need you. No, it's nothing new. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
And they just go back in the studio and you create work where I try to create work, and you still got to get in front of people's eyes. But I always say the internet was invented for me, so that's not a problem no more. It's like I put stuff out there, but and this may not be the way to do it, but this is the way you got to commit to something. You make work that you get in front of people to the point where they can't say no.
Yeah.
We know there are pieces on the planet, in museums, in galleries, in people's homes that are just extraordinary, by artists living and not living. Extraordinary, that people just can't say no. I want to create work that people go, they remember, and that's on me. So I just keep on. I mean, if you gave me Sherry tomorrow, I'd go like, how much time I have? I may pay some new stuff.
Well, maybe she would help you. So I have one more thing to touch on. And then I would love to hear from everyone, any questions that you have. I really like the 91, what did you call it? The 91
The 91 strategy, that's right.
So
how
close are you to that? I'm not asking you how old you are. How close are you to realizing yourself as a painter?
It feels that I'm on track.
Okay. Have you ever, I'm going to push you a little bit, have you ever done a site-specific installation? Is that something that you... Meaning whatever you think it means. In other words, how would you occupy the volume of this room as a whole and possibly push off the plane, off 2D into 3D?
No.
Okay.
No. Because for me personally, my thinking is, and site-specific stuff is wonderful. The stuff that James Street does is motivating and extraordinary. My thing is similar to the substance stuff that people that use. You're doing baking powder and all kind of stuff, and you try. I'm still in the place of, I think I can get where I want to get and produce the work I want to produce with just painting.
Yeah. Nice.
I think
you
there's still a long way to go. Yeah. I think there's so to start doing stuff to make it, part of it is what you think people are into.
Yeah.
There's still a long way to go.
That's beautiful.
And I'm finding that there's a long way to go. When I get the results I'm getting and put in the work I'm getting, that's out painting 2-dimensional on the wall.
That's your happy.
If I can get stuff, yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe larger.
Yeah.
maybe smaller.
Well, larger. If you do large enough, it becomes an installation. But anyway, what questions do you have? Yes, Mimi.
Hi, I'm Mimi. So this was the last painting that you did for this series, or do you look at it possibly as a segue into your next series? Because you handle the paint so differently, and the way that you handle the picture frame seems kind of different. So is it the segue into your next series, or is it the finale of this?
No. That is interesting. Okay. It's a segue into a next series. Yes. And doing it that way intentionally wasn't actually fit into this series. But I know based on, and I don't want to say what it's based on, but yes, there might be another 5 of this. Just like there's 2 of these, there might be another 5 of this. This started with something. So yeah. How'd you know that?
It's just sort of the way that you handle the paint also seems very different. I mean, I don't know what's around the corner here, but
Oh, please
but
look.
I know, I will. But
Yeah.
it's like the way you're handling the paint and the picture plane, the way you deal with the edges, everything is very different in that piece than everything that I can see in my.
And these.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
were
these,
too.
yeah,
Like I
these
love
are
that
the-
there's these segments,
yeah.
and the work feels obviously very united by Ted. who
Yeah,
made
well,
the
of
work,
course,
but-
because it's your language.
Yeah,
And it's almost like these pieces are like, when the way you have these three hanging together, is like, those are almost like a detail of this piece.
oh,
Okay.
Sorry about
I knew there was somebody in the studio making noise in the back.
that.
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, they're beautiful, and your sense of color is just so spectacular too, the way that the space in those two recedes and comes forward, and, you know, sometimes they're like gems, and sometimes they're like holes, and
We paint, we don't just paint up and we paint in and out, which is great when you figure it out. When I figured it out, it's like, oh, you got the left and right, how big, how far over, and then you go, no, I got the
Through.
pull it up, pull that back, and I think about it hard. I don't have what might be considered the training. There might be techniques, oh, this is how you do that, which I looked up one time and but I do think about that and try to figure out how to get that.
And you feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in that
At
room.
least once you know, first you know it, you go like, I need to like, it's not just this. Once you're there, which takes time to get there, to get to understand, but once you're there, it's like, ooh, now I see what those guys back in the day were. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know, Polly he really literally wasn't just throwing paint around. He was,
Yeah.
it's more than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I think you have a question, Lee?
Ted, I'm interested, if, God forbid, you did have a fire, you said there are several paintings in this room that are you willing to share with us which ones?
Oh!
No, I'm just interested, right, in the artist's choice,
No.
right?
Yes.
I love all my children.
Yeah, no, I see many beautiful paintings here, I just thought.
He keeps a wheelbarrow in his living room.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay, fair enough,
Oh my gosh. No, it's just,
fair enough.
and to address what you'd asked about, the small ones were, you know, about giving breath, like I told you, giving breath to the series of work for the viewer.
Yeah.
That the titles mention about, you know, would it be enough as a theme, and these are numbered, if you wanted me to go into whatever. But those help people to relax about what I may be trying to bring out in people about would it be enough, you know. And part of it, I'll just bring, you know, I think we have to, part of it is, and this is broad. This is not, I don't have answers. I always said growing up and even now, the questions we ask are way better than the answers. The questions we, you know, there may be a couple of wrong answers, but there are no wrong questions. And if you really ask the good questions, then the answers that people can develop can be extraordinary. And I would think about things like, you know, if we're living and we know there's an end to it, we know that we're birthed, we die. It's not permanent, we know that, and we don't know when. What do you do, what do I do, at least let me ask me myself, what do I do such that when I get to that point, which I don't know when it's coming, where I'm more joyous than sad? That it's enough. That the purpose for me being here, I reached it. Maybe I'll reach it by the time I'm 88, not 91, but I've reached it such that, what's the expression? The rest is gravy.
Mm-hmm.
That's such that you just go, and there are people that have done that, this is not strange, where they go like, okay, I'm done, this is great, it's been wonderful. And should we not get there, or should we go out kicking and screaming until whatever? But if we know it's not permanent, then how do we live a life that we know that we don't go out kicking and screaming? Just a question, I'm not saying people should do it this way. So then I asked the question, during your lifetime, would it be enough? What? for me, I learned years ago, you know, I was given children to make me better. I knew that before I had them. I said, I'm gonna need children. Keep me straight. But then I always said, then I had children, and then I met a woman after that with 2 children. So I said to myself, well, God said, well, you ain't had enough kids. Let me now stick you with somebody else's kids. See if you love them. See how that shit works out.
Was
So,
it enough?
See?
There you go.
See?
Yeah.
That's the question. Obviously, the first 2 weren't enough. That's the question. So I, like in most of the things, those things which I call nouns, all those things are nouns. A table's a noun, people paint that. A portrait, the person's a noun, people paint that. The sunset's a noun. I said, but grief is a noun. Look at it, it's a thing. So if it's a noun, you can visualize it. If you can visualize it, you can paint it. So I try to paint those, like I said, the other sides of things. Because they're nouns, they're things, they're painted. So the question is, and we talk about people who are not painters, they're philosophers or whatever, and they talk about these things like they're real things. Then me as an artist can paint them. Paint the joy. Paint the 5. It's 5. 5 what? 5 years. When? 5 children. When? The loss of 5 is why am I losing 5 kids? Why is a parent losing 5 kids before they pass away? Again, my thinking, sad as it is, and it is, there's gotta be something else. But other than that, philosophy stuff. This is what I paint. This is what I paint.
Deeply about this.
This is what I paint. Like, why do you put the orange there? Why do you put that there? What are you trying to say? There's a reason for it. There's a reason. Half the time you may not know. Half the time you may not know, but you go as an artist with maybe experience and trust. You go.
Right. I may know sometime. Yeah. Are there any other questions? Dorothea.
Yeah, hi. I love thinking about the word enough. You know, it's a very strange word, and I think, you know, when people growing up, they often wonder, am I enough, or am I too much, or whatever. And there was a phrase I learned a long time ago, enough is a feast, and I found that very comforting. Wow. It would be like if I only had 10 minutes to look at the ocean that day, that's enough. I don't have to be here for 2 hours. Like, enough is a feast. Nice. And I find that really helpful in living, to accept, you know, and not always be needing more. You know, so I just, you know, it's you're
connected to the enough, and you're connected to the it. The 10 minutes is enough. That's the it. That's enough. Could be 20, could be 8, but for you recognize the value of 10 minutes of this.
Instead of complaining, oh, I
yes.
only had 10 minutes
yes.
to be at the beach
yes.
today, it wasn't enough,
yes.
right?
Or what we say all the time, when people do stuff like, oh, if I can only go back and I can talk to my sister or my brother or my son, and it's like if I have a 5-minute conversation, yes, because that 5 minutes would be enough of that thing. That's the it. And just the fact that we recognize it. And in art, you do that. You can help people do that. Like, what is he talking about? You have people come in here and they go, would it be enough? What is he talking about? Well, that's a thought, maybe, that they didn't have 5 minutes ago before they came in here. I've done my job.
Right. That's it. And that's a great place to end. Thank you so much.
Thank you.